I, along with my teammate, Mr. Lokesh, will present yesterday's recap, which was taken by Mr. Praveen Kapoor. Uh, Mr. Rajneesh Singh and Mr. Anupam Biswas. So I'll present the first session, the recap of the first session, and Lokesh will present the recap of the second session. So Mr. Praveen Kapoor, who is the co-founder and MD of Boss Technology LLP, he started the session by asking like the expectations from the session. तो उन्होंने पूछा कि बेसिकली आप लोग क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं, क्या समझते हैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में, एंड यहाँ पे बैठे सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स ने अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर किया, अपना वर्क शेयर किया, एंड बेसिकली वो लोग एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में क्या समझते हैं और क्या क्या चैलेंजेस हो सकते हैं. Secondly, he told about what are the basics of the entrepreneurship. So what are the traits of an entrepreneur basically. So he gave us a concept of ocean, OCEAN, that I'll come to it later. He shared his journey about the entrepreneurship where like he invested some money, but he failed actually because he didn't have that experience in doing like starting a venture basically. So he got a mentor finally, and then he was successful in starting his venture. So he suggested us that like we should also have a mentor before we start any venture. And he also suggested that rather than doing a course for any entrepreneurship, like we should go on the field and understand the work with its challenges and all the learnings. He did an activity with us where he divided us into the 3 groups, where 2 groups shared their venture experiences with the zero investment, and one group took 1 lakh investment for running a venture. And in the end, basically, all the 3 groups gave the feedback to each other about all the activities that can be done in a venture. So I'll come to the concept of ocean. So O is openness. Like it's an open-minded person, so the person has to be open-minded in starting a business. And he gave example of Stephen Gary and Stephen Jobs. C is for consciousness, where it means disciplined carefully. So he took a very good example of Mr. Ratan Tata, where he said that about his work ethics, his responsibilities, and his commitment towards the work. E is for extroversion, a person who is sociable and active. A is agreeableness, a trustworthy and a helpful person. And lastly, N for neuroticism, which stands for like the person is having anxiety or stressed basically in doing his business. He also gave us a psychometric test activity of 50 questions where we can actually know about our personality traits. Then he came to the concept of strong value proposition, where he told us that what is the USP of your like business, like how it is different from other businesses. कैसे आप benefit कर सकते हो अपने customers को. He gave the examples of companies like Uber, Apple iPhone, Airbnb, and Nike. Then he came on to the concept of entrepreneurship ecosystem, which is made by Stand Up India government, which is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And he also told us the schemes like Mudra, PM Vishwakarma, Startup India, and Stand Up India also basically. And also various training programs that can be done for entrepreneurship like PMKVY, NAPS, Women Empowerment, and Startup Learning. While he was ending the session, he told us about the first generation entrepreneurs, where he told us about Karsan Bhai Patel and the Godrej Group. And he told us about their traits, like how they used to do the business. So he said that they had a lot of patience in doing the business. After the failure, they didn't give up. They wanted to be 100% sure of like what they are doing basically. And they like meeting the customers face to face. I'll tell you about something about Mudra scheme basically, like in which he told that it includes Shiksha loan, which can be availed up to 50,000 rupees for it is for early stage businesses. Then it's a Kishore loan. It is from 50,000 to 5 lakh. This is for the existing small businesses. And Tarun loan, it is for from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. And also there's a scheme called Tarun Plus. He also told us about this Stand Up India, which is for the SC/ST women, which they can start. And in the end, he told us about a website, DPIIT, where people can register for starting a venture. So that was about the first session. Now I'll request my teammate, Mr. Lokesh.
Social enterprise. So he put a lot of questions and up and downs how he gone through. So then he's saying like how it is different from traditional entrepreneurship. So how is social entrepreneurship is different from that. So what is the role of social entrepreneurship as well as bringing social change? What we need to identify and what we need to do some need assessments. So he said like set a company with clear idea to address problems. Then he took a like example of Geo Mobile, how they gave free, so how they addressed the problem of networking and like internet or something, and then how it became a profitable afterwards. So he said that example, and then he said like financial backup has to be there. So identify needs of the people, he said, and conduct surveys and need assessment and how they deal. He explained how they deal with the blue collar workers. So how they give cars to the drivers and how they are working as a business model, he said. And then blended funds, he said, like not to take from only single kind of funds, but he said like blended funds. Then various members need to be handled each team, so not by the one person. So he had like 3 persons, and even he said about financial guys. So what is the importance of finance in a business? So then Rajesh Singh sir, so from Simply HR. So he said like inspirations to aspiration. So he said like 18 points. So I'll just read out those points actually. So people you have admired, and each point actually he took with one example. So NPOs who you have adored. So value you have cherished. Advices you have got. Books you have read. Talks you have listened. Network you have built. Friends you have for encouragement. Family you have for support. So from then he talked about aspirations and ethical organization, best people practices, target group, and culture in your foundation, financial savviness, outreach, preserve, keep retentivity, be an example, leave an impact. So in these 18 points, even I also took the same thing like credibility, which he spoke about, values we have cherished. Even that touched my heart. So when it comes to credibility, so what you're displaying or what you're portraying to the next level generations. And he said like second line and third line generations has to be prepared for our organizations. And after that, we moved on to break, and then culture even started. So we all enjoyed with our singings and dancings, everything. And it didn't come to an end at that time actually, and we started after our dinner. So even in the garden we sat, and even in the downside we sat, and from there to cafeteria we went, and from there to room. So it's all like enjoyment throughout the night. So I enjoyed every part of this training, and I thank each and everyone. Thank you.